part of a persuasive lie is to mix it in with something that's true. This is Richard Elliott Friedman's comment on one of his comments on this week's Parshat in his good Torah commentary called Commentary on the Torah. Right? This is the week when there is a rebellion against Moshe, and part of the complaint against Moshe is that that you brought us up from a land flowing with milk and honey, just to let us suffer in the wilderness. Of course, the land of milk and honey they're referring to is the fact that they came out of Egypt. Which was the house of bondage, not the land of milk and honey, despite the fact that it was rich. And then they say, and you haven't brought us af lo ha'aretz chalav devash evitanu. You haven't brought us to a land flowing with milk and honey. Moses promised to bring them there, and he hasn't, of course. They're at this point wandering the desert. That's the true part. They're telling the truth that Moses hasn't succeeded in bringing them to where he promised yet. But in saying that things were good for us in Egypt, that's the lie. These are people who, the Torah lets us know, have position and respect in the community. They're Anshe Shem. They're men of renown. Now, this is the key thing. Just because somebody in a prominent position, respected position, says something, doesn't make it true. It's really on all of us to figure out what's true and what's not, and not to respond to half-truths. This is part of the warning that the Torah gives, and this is part of what our society still struggles with. Just because somebody says something that makes you angry, just because somebody says something that has a kernel of truth, doesn't mean we're supposed to buy the second half. We are actually obligated to dig down deeper, to read past headlines, not to react to provocative statements. Don't fall for it. That is the core of Parshat Korach this week. Don't fall for demagogues. Don't fall for people who seem to stand for the people, but when you examine their statements, are in fact massaging things just to get power for themselves. That's what the sages say Korach is doing. That's part of what we got to watch out for. It's not unique to this time and place. It's not unique to America. It's not unique to any society or any time. This is common across societies and across times, and we still fall for it. We're supposed to be smarter than that. That's what the Torah commands. Shabbat Shalom.